The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox Post-Game Podcast, your go-to spot for real, unfiltered Angels talk, win or lose, on the Halos in the Infield Network. You never know what's going to happen. Walk-offs, meltdowns, heroics, or straight-up typical Angels disasters. We're breaking it all down. Who stepped up and took home the Golden Stamos, the most prestigious award in baseball? And who embarrassed themselves so badly they're stuck with the dreaded Nacho Night award? Drop your comments, call in, and sound off. We're reading them all. So like, share, subscribe, and buckle up, because this show pulls no punches. And yes, Anthony Rendon is still a fragile little bitch. Take it away, Todd.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, if you could see me, I'm in the dark. You can hear me. Thank you so much. I'm on my way right now back from the stadium in San Diego. What a glorious game. I know you can't really see too much. I probably shouldn't keep that light on, huh?
You're fine.
I'm fine. Okay. So, great game tonight. We were all angeled out tonight. I got to sit with Tamir 20, which was great. I got to sit with Big Game James and my girl Steve Elise, which she almost got into a fight. That was great. Usually San Diego fans are pretty laid back and don't have no problems. But, boy, they didn't like when we were actually cheering. We weren't even rubbing it in. And the behind us were starting crap, and my girl stepped up to the plate. I love it. And, I had to represent myself like, sit your ass down. I had to speak up, too. So it was great. But what a win. It seemed like it was going to be a typical Angels game. Score 2 runs early. Get some good pitching, get out of a few jams, but make an error like Kikuchi did, and allow it to be 3-2. And we're already joking around like, well, let's keep it competitive. We're probably going to lose. And one thing I'll say before I get into anything tonight, I was just so jealous tonight about how beautiful that ballpark is because I haven't been there in a couple of years. And I went today. It's even more prettier. I got some videos to upload. I'm going to share with all you guys on YouTube, show you how gorgeous that stadium was. It was beautiful, man. I freaking loved it. I had a great time tonight. And again, shout out to Saucy, Big Game James right there himself. He hooked it up with some tickets. And, it was great. It was a nice game, nice atmosphere. And, up until the end. But it was awesome. There's a lot of things to do. If you've never been to Petco Park, I really encourage you to go. It's freaking awesome. And, the fans, for the most part, were cheering loudly. They have so much better, like their entertainment factor is off the charts. The things you could do there, the food that you could eat, the attractions, the kid-friendly atmosphere. I mean, it is really, really, really legit. A+ for the Padres and their presentation. As far as the game's concerned, and the way they cheer the crowd during the games, the way the players are that they can market, jealous too. They do everything the right way, and kudos to them. But again, getting back to it, this game was completely different from what we thought it was going to be when it started out, because the Angels winning this one 9-5 was unexpected. I'm telling you, and I won't lie, I was making people around us laugh because I was like, Taylor Ward, you suck. I was yelling. I was like, you're worthless. Hit the bench. Take one for a team. Throw yourself in front of a baseball. I was just being I was joking around, but I meant it. You know what I mean? I was giving off the vibe like, oh, he's just being a dick. But no, I really meant it. And I had no faith in that dude at the end. And we'll get into what happened with him. But it was just crazy because if you look how the Angels won this game, it just didn't play out like it was going to be an Angels victory. I mean, losing the lead, Kikuchi making a critical error. He's still winless. They can't do anything right with him. They can't score runs. And it just looked like it was just going to be another L. But, Zach Neto got him on the board, like I said, with a 2-run homer. Then Jackson Merrill. You want to talk about probably should have been the player of the game. Easy, hands down. I mean, he scored a couple big runs. He made 2 diving catches. I mean, easily Merrill should have been the freaking player of the game. There's no doubt. But that's all he raced on the big ninth inning, right? The 6-run ninth inning. So, you had Jackson Merrill singling to make it 2-1. Then on the air, Bogarts and those guys scored, so it's 3-2. And then the fifth inning, Tatis just hits a moonshot in that beautiful ballpark to dead center field, and it's freaking 4-2. And you're thinking that's all they needed. That's all you're going to get. And if you can keep it 4-2, maybe, just maybe, you can rally your monkey in the ninth inning and score a run and tighten it up a little bit. But that's it. So when they got the first out, I'm thinking, crap. But then, Renifo comes in there, singles. All right, you get a walk, and then, all right, you're starting to get something going here. Get two men on with a Hoppy in there, and then you load them up, and then Soler strikes out, and you're like, crap. Or they get a couple walks. Actually, Mancado walked. Was it Shana? Well, I forget who walked. It was Neto. All I know is that inning, my butt cheeks were clenched. I couldn't sit still. We were standing. It was crazy atmosphere. It felt like a playoff game. And I thought they would get one run, and my angel way of thinking was, okay, we're going to hit into a double play. Or the last two guys are going to strike out. We're going to leave them loaded. When Mancado worked that great, I think it was an 8 or 9 pitch at bat to tie the game, I'm like, holy crap, we have a chance. And we were all telling each other, okay, we're going to take this to extras. And I was not expecting, I was already telling the guys next to us that weren't Angel fans, like, all right, it's a third out, might as well bring in the outfield. And then he freaking hits the grand slam. And we were sitting, the ball was like the overhang. We were sitting just under the overhang. I couldn't see where the ball went. So I just went on fan reactions when the I was going to say Charger fans. When the Padre fans went quiet and I saw the Angel fans, the handful of them that were right there, go nuts. There was a lot of Angel fans where we were sitting. There was an awful lot, and I was very encouraged by that. There was a lot of red in the stands. For a team being this bad, there was a lot of red in the stands, and I was so proud tonight. And when he hit that grand slam, I couldn't believe it. We were hugging each other, high-fiving. I mean, what a freaking way to end the game. Steve Leese's voice is gone because, James, Rally Chris, he'll come on and he'll take credit for wins, like he rallied his monkey, thanks to Rally Chris, right? This one goes to James because Homeboy did the rally cap from the start of the inning. That was some freshness that I haven't seen in a while. And whatever juju came from his hat being the rally cap status on his head, barely staying on his head, it worked. It worked in big time. And it was so nice because you had some bitter Padre fans who were pissed that tried to start something with Steve Elise behind us, and they were annoying as hell for most of the game. And just because we won, they're trying to do the sarcastic stuff with us, and she wasn't having it. She flipped them off right to their face. She was telling them, sit your ass down. And then I stood up and was like, hey, get out of her face. So I stood up for her too. It worked out. It was great. I was like, I'm ready to throw, man. I was like, you're pulling out Todd's ghetto right now. So it was great. We had a great time. And so we won. So you saw a mass exodus. You had Angel fans waving to the Padre fans because they turned it around on them because the Padre fans, after the seventh inning, were kind of being a little obnoxious. They were kind of like, but then when the game was over, they had some fans that were a little bitter, like, oh, you guys are in last place. You're not going to make the playoffs. So I'm like, okay, I'll be nice, but then give me one more of those. So then right away I was like, well, you guys are just going to win a lot of games to lose to the Dodgers in the playoffs. And they didn't like that very much. And then one stupid ass said, oh, well, yeah, when's the last time you won a World Series? I'm like, 02, when have you? Oh, that's right, you don't have one. They were trying to say, well, we made it in 98. Who gives a fuck? You lost. So I'm like, 1-0, baby. It was apples to oranges, but who cares? And then we get to the trolley and we run into some nice Padre fans, and we were all commiserating for our hate towards the Dodgers and how they're ruining baseball. So it was great. We had our own podcast on the trolley. It was great. But all in all, what a victory, huh? Like nobody predicted this. No one felt that this was going to happen. So, I have to play this since I'm doing this on my phone, since it won't be that long of a post game. It's Stukas, baby! Oh, damn. So, the John Stamos, Gold Stamos, has to go to the guy that I had the most faith in. Hold on, I got to shut off the light while we go through the way station. I have to give it to our boy, Taylor Ward. Our boy. I can't even say that with a straight face. I can't stand him, but I got to give the devil his due. He now has 9 home runs and 22 RBIs, I believe, while batting a robust 190. But that grand slam was more than clutch. I was not expecting that for shit. And for him to hit that grand slam, oh my goodness, that was hella good. So he gets the Golden Stamos tonight because otherwise, like I said, Jackson Merrill was everywhere tonight. He was everybody's favorite Padre tonight in the stands, and it didn't just work out that way for them. And, oh, well, big victory for us tonight. Let's talk about who got the Nacho Night award.
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, hold the pride. Grab a fork, take a dive. Dignity's gone, but the cheese survived. Molded cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
The Nacho Night Award easily goes to Suarez. It was so funny because there was a guy also. I mean, Steve Lee's had we had good seats thanks to James, a.k.a. Saucy. But she was in between annoying-ass chicks behind us. And then she had the loudest, fattest Padre fan next to her. He was every time there was a strikeout, he can't see it. He gone. Another past him, he was saying some annoying crap. And she's just looking at me like, man, I want to punch this guy. He's so annoying. And he was just on every pitch, he was just saying something stupid, right? And I offered several times, let me switch you to you. She's like, no. And she's stubborn. She had her stubborn, her Honduras mindset going. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And I'm like, if she could take it, it's all good. So anyway, he was pumping up Suarez. He's like, well, you guys get to Suarez. This game's over. He's the best closer in the league. And I looked him up right now. I was like, damn, he's got an 0.71 ERA. That dude's been nails for him. And then they did the intro. I recorded his intro. His intro's pretty cool. And I'm like, all right, well, let's see if we could just at least get a run or make it interesting. Put the tying run on. Nope, he blew it, man. He was nowhere close to strike zone, and for once, he gave 4 or 5 runs. He got charged and 4 hits. And I will say this: I was very proud of the Angels taking walks and actually working walks in that 9th inning when you had to, looking at pitches, fouling them off. That's competitive baseball. That is. I'm on it. I'm locked in. And you're determined not to have the same dumbass swings you had all game. I mean, they really made a closer that good look that bad. So hats off to the Angels. And believe me, Padre fans, if you know this show, if you were watching, yes, you would offer those nachos and give them to him straight up because, dude, that was a complete meltdown, and good job by the Angels right there. So with the start comments I want to get into right now, hats off. Thank you so much there. Super sticker right there for Tyler. I know he's already thinking, we're so back. Same thing with Boo Bear's mommy. Thank you for the super stickers. Well, so that was awesome. I'll get through some of these comments right here as we'll go live back to the comments if I can get to them, because it kind of screws you up sometimes on the phone. I'm not used to using the phone. So let's see. Wait, no, not that one right there. I got to try to get to bear with me here. I've never done it off my phone live. Let's see if I can even see the comments. I was seeing them a second ago, yeah, but it went to the starred ones, and I can't get back to the other one. It's telling me to do the, what is it called? Oh, Jesus. There we go. Wait, is it going now? There we go. Cool. All right, now I got some of the comments. So Tyler says, well, that was a pleasant surprise. Ian says, Saturday next to you at the game tonight was a hell of a game, hell of a celebration we had when Ward hit the grand slam after we talked mad smack on him all night. Hell yeah, that was Ian right there. Also, let's see, hold on a second. It gets me back to that. I should have pressed the thing right there. Hold on. But I'm just messing things up all over. Bear with me. Because I can't even see the goddamn comments. Yeah, again. I had it, dude. Why in the world did I mess that up? There we go. Nope. Trying to do the layout right there. There we go. Okay. We get back here. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, they had to work for every pitch, it seemed like, tonight. Wu says, you lied. You said no post game. We did say no post game, but we wound up doing it anyway. Albert Poole says, Stukas. Dan Rios says, what we all been wanting to hear, which is, it's the clock.
Spritz the clock, angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz the clock, let's pour some more. Spritz the clock, let's pour some more. Spritz the clock, let's pour some more.
You know, this is one of those tonight where the Angels get a huge victory, and it was so much fun, and it's one that you could talk about for a little while because we might not do this for a while. So I was very happy with this. Light that baby up. A lot of people saying you spritzed me awake right now, Baldwin. Also, what is it called? You have Keith says, I'm a diehard Halo fan for 22 years, and I'm on Los Angeles boys, so this win felt very good against the Madres. Also, we're so back. And you have Saucy saying, incredible game. Yes, the fans were assholes. Keith says, been a Halo fan. Oh, yeah, I read that right there. It's better versus the Madres. Saucy says, I thought Kikuchi's air was how they'd lose. I thought the same thing. So did all of us. Dan Rio says, Petco is beautiful. Skull Zone checking in all the way from Ohio says, have you ever been to Cecilio's place? No, but that's an inside joke. So shut up, bro. Also, yeah, Jackson Merrill is an unbelievably good player on the Padres. He recently inked a 9-year extension. Saucy says another Suarez getting nachos, a nice surprise. Joe says, Deo, Ward grand slam. Dude, the only thing I'll say too, Petco gets an A+ for not playing one goddamn Deo. I've seen worse. Oh, geez. Grillmaster says Robert Jose Suarez from Bolivar, Venezuela, choked the game tonight. He gets nachos. EQ says, let's fucking go, bro. Also, the Archangel fan says, I wish I was there. Also, Todd Ghetto, I'm a Fox. There's Skull's on trolling as a Dodger fan right there. Also, the Friars got greased worse than Puff Daddy tonight. Oh, geez. Balls, and Ward stepped up this time. Mateo says, what a comeback. Also, I was screaming when Ward hit the grand slam. I think we all were. Joe said, no more Taylor Ward slander from you, at least for tonight. At least for tonight. Slam Nahab. I know, right? Her voice is gone, Steve Lisa's voice right now. Also, Brewmaster said, we struck out 16 times tonight and still won. Q Lombardi. Well, hold on. Can I cue Lombardi on here? I wonder if I can. Let me try. Hold on. I have, let's see. What the hell's going on out here? Oh, I can. That's cool. You can basically use the same thing with a phone. That's pretty dope. I was not expecting that one bit. Depressed Angel fan says Suarez turned into our old Suarez. Also, the Padres look like us on a regular day. Boy, that is true, man. That California fit, go hard, Todd. Thank you, sir. Also, I was a Slam Diego all right tonight. Joe's talking about right there, and it was awesome that they won tonight. What a win, though. Grand slam. Let me get to a few more of these comments. Don Hammond says, Jackson Morrell is unreal. He's going to be a superstar, one of my favorite players to watch. He is awesome, dude, unless you're playing against him. That's for sure. Yeah, and Justin Option said, did we lose again? No, we didn't. Jason says, do you think the league does West Coast, East Coast games, leagues to get more games like these? Yeah, they do, because there are some geographical rivalries, and I think the Padres and Angels are more of like a handshake rivalry. They're not like a bitter one. I think there's mutual respect for the most part. Saucy says, this team does just enough to keep me thinking maybe. Yeah, exactly. Tyler says, Merrill makes catches that Ward could never make with his noodle dreams. Also, James Gonzalez says, shout out to my rally cap in the ninth. Hell yeah, dude. That was a mean old shout out. Don has a man crush Monday on Merrill. Also, Booba Bear's mommy says, I'm so proud of my boys against our Padres. Also, the Archangel says, balls and balls, please. Let me see if I can play that one real quick.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Also, Mateo says, Don, if we would have lost that game 5-4 with the bases loaded, would you be okay with that? I would be frustrated, but I would be like, hey, we gave it a shot. You know, we gave it a shot. But hey, a win's a win's a win, right? So with that being said, we're on our way home. I got work in the morning. I'm trying to keep what's left of my voice. I'll be on right after the game tomorrow. I promise. I'm not going to any more games this week. So we'll be live, large in charge as soon as the final score comes across tomorrow, win or lose. Hopefully it's another win. And I will play each and every one of you guys who stayed up to watch this, even though we said we weren't going to do it. It was too good of a game not to do it. So I apologize for saying we weren't. I kind of got ahead of myself and told Fernando to post that. But damn, how could you not be happy after this one? So I hope all of you guys are honking your honk tonight. And one more time, just to play us out, it's Stukas, baby!